and welcome back to another video. I'm joined with a special guest today, and it's Izzy Snaas. Would you like to give a quick introduction about yourself?
Hi guys, lovely to meet you all virtually. My name's Izzy Snaas. You pronounced it really well. And I just graduated from the musical theatre course at ArtsEd last May. God, it seems like forever ago now. That's really weird. And then COVID happened. So I haven't been doing much musical theatre lately, but I have been trying to keep up my fitness, and singing around the house and watching lots of TV, as I'm sure we all have been doing. But yeah, that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I think everyone's just trying to keep as productive as possible.
Right? Just trying to keep sane.
Yeah. So I asked my Instagram followers just to give you a few questions. So I just picked some of my favorite ones. So yeah, let's just jump into them.
Cool.
So the first one is, how did you get the audition for Frozen?
So we were super lucky. At ArtSed, our principal, Chris Hocking, he organized for the casting director to come into school for us. So James Orange came in and actually saw all of us in my year group for Frozen as well as Carousel. Um, so yeah, like I said, very grateful for that opportunity. And then from there, he selected who he was interested in, and then we just proceeded to the various different audition rounds, and that's where it kind of all got started. So yeah.
Great. So the second question is, how have you been remaining stagey during lockdown?
Good question. So definitely at the beginning, I was doing a lot more dance than I'm doing now, which I am gonna change somehow. But I was looking at YouTube videos. The Dutch National Ballet had some great videos on YouTube for just keeping up your ballet technique. And then Magnetic Studios was another one on Instagram. They were hosting a load of dance classes. There were some amazing teachers on there. So I was doing that quite regularly. And not just Magnetic Studios, there were a lot of people on Instagram just hosting free classes, whether that was creative based or even just fitness. There were a lot of fitness influencers putting on stuff. And now I'm trying to remind myself to keep up the singing, because it's all well just kind of singing in the shower and singing for fun. But I think sometimes you forget how quickly your muscles just stop, or forget how you used to do certain things or get your voice to a certain position. Um, so that's what I've been trying to do, more scales and sort of the more technical side of singing.
Yeah, so you just kind of elaborated on this with the first question, but what was the audition process like for Frozen?
So it was long, but having said that, when I remember getting to the finals, and as you know, there's always time to spare, so you're just chatting with people, and I'd found out from them that it had been going on for much longer than I actually knew. So I knew before I even got involved, it had been a year, I want to say, for some of the people. So all in all, it was a long audition process, but super fun. Um, and actually, I really enjoyed it. I never felt incredibly stressed out, which is nice. It's good to have that healthy level of those healthy level of nerves, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, it was a really good process, I'd say.
Yeah, I think most audition processes are long in like a long period
Exactly.
of time. Like I was speaking to someone, I think it was last week when I was doing another one of these, and they said that the audition process was going on for about 2 months.
Yeah. So it was a long one, but worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. So the next question is, have you done any professional theatre before?
I wouldn't say professional, no. So before Art Ed, I was just doing stuff with a performing arts school outside of my normal academic school, and we'd just be putting on like amateur productions of things. So nothing professional.
Yeah, so the next question is, how do you feel about making your West End debut?
Oh, apps. I actually just watched, I don't know if you've seen it, the YouTube official London Theatre's YouTube channel just released a part one and part two of a kind of behind the scenes of Frozen. And because we're in lockdown at the minute, I've, kind of just forget about things. And actually, the other day I saw a group of my art said classmates on Zoom, and it honestly felt so strange because it feels like it was like a whole nother life ago. So just watching the videos about Frozen, I got so excited, and honestly, I feel incredibly lucky and grateful that this is my first professional job outside of school associated with Disney. It's a dream come true. As cliche as that is, it's incredible to know that I have that just around the corner, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed it can open.
I know, right? We're all praying, honestly.
So the next question is, how do you feel about stunt casting?
Stunt casting. So, I don't know. I've never thought about that before. Did someone ask this question on Instagram?
It's one I'm asking everyone.
Ah. So stunt casting, you mean like people filling in for stunts, like
It,
actual physical.
so stunt casting is when they bring a celebrity into a show to sell tickets.
Ah, I see what you mean. Okay, good question. Um, Obviously, I understand that for theatre, there's always going to be a balance between getting an audience in and generating enough of a buzz. So from that viewpoint, I do understand sometimes, because look, it's actually great sometimes when there might be a certain demographic of people that weren't initially very interested in the show, and then just by bringing this one person in, it can attract a whole load of people that you never thought would end up coming, which is great for the show. And not just great that they're seeing the specific celebrity that they're interested in, but it also gives the other people on stage um, a good amount of attention. So in that respect, I can understand it, if it's for the benefit of the entire production and the people involved. But I do understand how sometimes it can be a bit frustrating when training is not easy, right? Drama school isn't easy, and you spend a lot of money and effort, and there's tears and there's blood and it's a whole whirlwind of emotions. So from that standpoint, I can understand when people feel hard done by, if they don't feel like someone else deserves that spot as much as perhaps someone that trained did. So it's really tricky, I think. Good question.
So the next question is, what is your dream role?
Oof. I think so it hasn't changed from when I was like 12. I think it's still the same role. I would love to play Mary Poppins. I actually did it. We did bits of the show with the school that I was with, the performing arts school, and I just fell in love with her character. She's such a strong woman, so independent. That's what we need more of. Um, yeah, and I aspire to be a bit like Mary Poppins. She's a bit sassy in her own right, and I love that.
Yeah. So the next question is, what are you looking forward to the most regarding Frozen?
Oof, I think it's gonna have to be working with the people that are involved. I mean, it's insane. Me coming out of drama school, fresh out of drama school, I can't wait to learn from absolute professionals. like seasoned pros at what they do. And I think that's just very, very inspiring for me to be coming into the industry with that to look forward to.
Yeah, because Frozen has got one of the best casts I've seen in a long time.
It's gonna be incredible, honestly.
Yeah, like it's got Samantha Barks, Oliver Ormson. They're just two people I've looked up
They're
to
just two, yeah.
God knows how long.
Yeah.
Just by looking at that cast, you know that it's going to be an incredible production.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. Honestly, I completely agree with you. And um I do just have to pinch myself sometimes. Just looking like Samantha Barks. That's someone that I remember growing up admiring when I watched the Les Mis film. So it's insane that I'll be able to share the stage with her at some points. That's just absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. Um. So Samantha's like well known from I'd Do Anything, the TV show back in I think like 2008 now.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Like I remember being that little 8-year old being obsessed with Oliver watching her on that show. And then all of a sudden I'm seeing her in Les Mis,
Yeah.
and then she even got to tour as Nancy as well. So it's not like she lost out because she still got the opportunity to play that role. But it just
Yeah, no way. Her career is
it
insane.
shot
Yeah. Yeah,
because
she's doing fine.
she's also done stuff on Broadway and stuff like that. Maybe she's one I need to try and get on this series.
Maybe. Why not?
So the next question is, what show do you want to see after lockdown?
Oh. Oh, that makes me sad. I can't wait to go and see a show. I was actually meant to see, I bought me and my sister tickets for Prince of Egypt. That was my present to her for her birthday. So I'd love to go and see that because that was actually what I had scheduled. So that would be a great one to see. But there's so many, honestly, I would just take every opportunity I got. Um, See a show every night if possible. When I've got the time, obviously.
Yeah, two two shows I want to see is one Frozen, definitely. I do definitely want to see that,
Mm.
and Cinderella. They're just two that I want to see.
Yes. Yes. I am excited about Cinderella.
Yeah, like Lauren Burns just recently been announced in the cast as well, and I have a feeling that she's going to be covering Carrie, but I don't want to. I don't want to get my hopes up with it, but I have a feeling that that is happening.
Yeah, and Carrie's another like honestly, I grew up watching her YouTube videos, so
Yeah.
that's another person I've just really, really admired from when I was younger.
Yeah. So the next question is, how did you get into musical theatre?
So I think so. It started with singing for me. I did ballet when I was younger, but at like age 6, I just got all moody and went into a bit of a tomboy phase. So I sort of told my mom I wasn't doing ballet anymore. But it was definitely singing that brought me into musical theatre. I think my music teacher in like year 4 might have heard at least some kind of potential. And then from there, I just joined choirs, loads of different choirs. And actually, when we did a production of the Pied Piper, I was the Pied Piper in year 6. And I do remember just be like midway through rehearsals, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I mean, it wasn't a great production at all, but I think it was just the feeling of being, I really enjoyed the creative process of things, as well as the final like performance. But I really just loved working and collaborating with uh, other like-minded creative people. So yeah.
Yeah, I think as soon as anyone does like a show when they're younger, they're like, "Yeah, right, okay, I'm doing this."
Yeah.
Like, you just get the mind set on it.
Yeah, I don't think my parents really had the opportunity to say, Are you sure? Because honestly, I was so, from that moment on, like you said, I was just, my mind was set on it.
Yeah, so the next question is, will you be covering any roles in Frozen?
No, I won't. But I'm saying that with a smile because I actually had this conversation with my the principal of Arts Ed, and he said it's so great. This is your first show, so just completely enjoy it. And obviously, at some point in my future career, it'd be great to sort of have the experience of covering a role. But I think um, Frozen being my first job, I'm just gonna absolutely enjoy it, like no stress. I won't have I won't have the responsibility of, that last minute sort of like, oh my God, am I gonna be covering this person? So I won't be. Not this time round anyway. We'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, so the next question is, how did you react when you got the phone call to say you were being Frozen?
So it wasn't a phone call, but I remember getting an email from the principal, and he was like, "Can you come see me in my office?" And other art setters will know you can't really tell whether it's going to be good news or bad news, especially because around that time you're sort of being called into various auditions, being rejected from them, or either getting a call back. So just getting that sort of one liner on an email was pretty scary. So I remember walking into the office, and then again, just he had this complete poker face on. So I had no clue what was about to happen. And then when he came out with it, honestly, I think my body was just in complete shock still, because I remember him sort of being like, "You're in Frozen." And I don't think I was offering the kind of reaction that he'd expected. But I honestly think it's because, when your body just sort of feels a bit numb, like you just don't know what to do. It's sort of that fight or flight response. I honestly, excuse the pun, but I honestly was like frozen in my chair, like no idea what to say. And it took like a couple of phone calls after that initial meeting with my family to just let it actually sink in and be like, oh my gosh, like this is happening, this is real. So it was definitely a delayed reaction.
Did it feel real when the cast actually got announced to the public?
Yeah, that was definitely a moment when I was like, because we knew for quite a while, and I know there are people involved even earlier than me that knew even before that, even before I knew. So that was definitely a massive milestone in just having the public now know and being able to tell other people. And yeah, that definitely was a little bit of a celebration, because we were like, oh my gosh, I can actually tell people that I'm in this show. So
Yeah,
yeah, that was a big moment.
it was kind of a weird time that it got announced.
Yes.
It was at like 10 o'clock at night, and I just remember scrolling through, and then next thing you know, Frozen London, meet your Frozen cast. I was like, at 10
Took
o'clock
you
at night?
by surprise.
Like at 10 o'clock at night? Like, come on.
Yeah, a bit random, but I'm so glad that it did eventually get announced.
Mm. And it was also one of the major cast announcements that was announced during that first lockdown.
Yes,
So
which I
like,
know, yeah, it was. I think a lot of people felt nervous about that, but honestly, when it did get announced, the amount of support that we got back, and I think it was really great for the entire theatre industry to just see that as a sort of um as hope and light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, because not long after the Frozen cast was announced, the Rent cast at the Hope Mill Theatre was announced.
Yeah.
So literally, just these two shows are getting announced. You're like, right, there's hope here. There is hope here, and here we still are.
And we're still here.
We,
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was good for people to see that the theatre industry was still going forward, or at least planning to, and had stuff in the pipeline ready to go.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So the next question is, have you always wanted to get into theatre?
As I think so, like as I try and think back to when I was younger. I mean, I definitely used to be super, super ambitious and wanted to be like a singer, a dancer, an actor, an author, a chef. Like, when you're a kid and you can't quite make up your mind, there was definitely a bit of craziness going on up there. But yeah, from a young age, I can say that I was super, super into it. Like that's all I could see myself doing, and that definitely made school a little bit difficult because my school wasn't particularly one that sort of specialized in performing arts. They were definitely more geared towards academics. So I remember just getting to sixth form and honestly being so ready to just say see ya and leave and just be gone. Um, and so when I got into art ed, it was just my ticket. I was ready to go.
So the next question is even I find impossible to answer.
Uh-oh.
What is a musical you want to become a movie musical?
Ooh.
I find this impossible to answer.
Okay, so not the other way round, not a movie into a musical to become a movie
Yeah.
musical. Oh, this is a good question. Oh my gosh, let me have a think. What have I been watching recently? Or what could be turned into? I'm trying to think what could be turned into like a cute little Netflix series. Um, oh my gosh.
Impossible, isn't it?
Oh, it's really hard when you're like being put on the spot. Maybe something will pop up in my head at the end of this at the end of the school and I'll have to message you. I've gone blank. That's really poor. I'm sorry.
Literally, I got asked that question and it took me about 10 minutes to think of something.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, see, there's so many musicals and then your mind is just like, uh-oh.
But one that is already a movie that turned into a musical that I want to see it as a movie musical, Billy Elliot.
Oh, on that note, one which is a movie already and now is a musical, but I don't think has been made into movie musical. Heathers.
Yes.
Yes. That
I,
was thanks to your suggestion, that idea.
I want that to happen. So,
Right?
like, Andy Fickman, come on, get on with it. Just get on with it.
We're putting it out there. We're putting it into the universe.
Yeah. On the note of movie musicals, what is your favorite movie musical?
Ooh. Ooh. I do have a soft spot in my heart for Les Mis, just because I think it was really like a big contender for that category for movie musicals. Like it was a great way to get people that otherwise wouldn't be so involved in musicals to watch something like Les Mis and to just bring it to the public's attention, like outside of the musical theatre community. And I still remember going with my mum and my sister, just like a young girl, just like so excited to see this on screen, like see such an incredible piece of art on on a film screen. Like that was insane. So yeah.
Yeah, so the last question is one that I am also going to be asking everyone. How did you feel when Boris eventually mentioned theatres on the news and that theatres can reopen in May?
Well, it was a long time coming. I feel like I've been constantly waiting to hear what's happening in terms of live theatre. Like it always it, I might be being a bit biased here, but it always feels like it's kind of like one of the last things to be mentioned, which
Always.
is sometimes sad, like because it's a lot of our like that's our career, and sometimes it feels a bit neglected, sadly. But taking the positives out of it, it was super, super nice to see an end in sight. And like I said with Frozen before, a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's always nice to have to sort of not be in the darkness anymore, to have something to strive towards. Um, so yeah, like obviously it's still a couple of is that right? A couple of months away? I don't know. My honestly, I don't know time anymore. Like it's all just blurred in my head. But it's definitely nice having a specific date to now look forward to.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I asked someone that question and I got screamed at. There was
Oh
like,
no.
literally, they was screaming for joy. It was,
Oh, okay, okay.
it was a scream for joy, and it was nice to see that because this has been happening now since the 20 summit of May. So we're in not May, March. Why did I just say May?
It's okay. Honestly, time is just not a thing anymore.
It's been one of them things that you wake up and every day is the same
Yeah.
at the minute.
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
It really is just every single day is the same.
Yeah, and that's why, albeit that it's still a couple of months away, I think people are just genuinely so, so pleased that the end is near, essentially.
So that comes to the end of them questions, and I've just got a quick fire round.
Cool, I'm ready for it.
So the first one, favorite musical.
Favorite musical? Oh, oh, I don't know who's my favorite, but I really, really enjoyed The Grinning Man.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, it wasn't on for too long, but honestly, it was just very different, which is always nice to see something a bit different on the scene. But yeah,
Plays or musicals.
musicals. So everyone loves a bit of song and dance.
West End or Broadway.
I'm gonna have to just because we're shooting for the stars here. It would be absolutely amazing to end up on Broadway. I've never seen a Broadway show. Have you?
No.
Uh, So honestly, imagine haven't even seen one. Like imagine being in one. So I might have to say Broadway.
And finally, the last one that caused a debate
Uh-oh.
is cereal soup.
Wait, say that again.
This is the reaction I
I
get.
feel like I heard you right, but I just need you to just repeat that one more time.
Is cereal soup.
Is cereal soup? No, I'm gonna have to say no because that depends. My mum, for example, she hates milk and she just has it plain. So then it's not soup, is it? Because have you ever just opened up the packet and just munched it straight out of? Because I've done that a lot. But it is also really, really great when it is a bit soupy. Like, you know, cinnamon crunch.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Or swirl? Like when you kind of let it all like stir about, the milk just becomes so, so sweet. And it's amazing. That's another tough question.
It's one that caused a debate through.
I bet. I bet.
Literally, I first heard about it from the six queens that were on tour, Maddie and Lauren.
Yeah.
And Lauren's reaction, and I say this to everyone, was just a picture. She was like, "Is cereal soup? Are you all right?" I was like, "Oh, okay."
That was a straight up no then.
Oh, it was just one of them reactions that you had to screen record so you've got it there because it was like just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it might not be the best soup, but it does have the potential to be a soup, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. So that comes to the end.
I love that that question concluded our call.
So yeah, there you go, guys. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all soon for another video.
Woohoo!